Good morning and welcome to the AutoTalk Weekly Wrap. It has been quite some time since we've had
Yeah,
one of these. Not because we haven't wanted to, it's just we've been really busy. Because let's face it, there's not a lot of people around to do the work at the moment, so we have to do most of
that's a low blow. Everyone's
it.
really busy,
Sorry.
Richard. Everyone's
Yes.
really busy right now.
Busy selling or busy surviving?
Surviving, and if you're going to survive, you've got to be busy. So right now is not a time to be sitting on your hands and going and just wondering what's going to happen next. You've actually got to be proactive. And I think if you're a DP of a business right now in the trade, you're looking at it saying, what can I do today to affect the outcomes tomorrow, the next week? You're not just waiting for them to happen. I think everyone's in the same boat. So yeah, we're busy. Everyone's busy, but not busy necessarily with a horde of customers, just busy trying to make things settle.
Yes, exactly. So why have we been missing? Well, I have been doing a bit of traveling. I was up in China, and then we of course had Auto Talk Live. We'll touch on that in a minute. Got more to come. Too much running around the world at the moment, doing no great things for my carbon footprint, whether you believe in that or not.
I'm so sorry
Um,
for you. Sorry, Richard.
I, like Trump, I really need the Saudis to give me a 747 via. It's not no, not the Saudis, Qataris to give me a 747 for free that I get to keep um, after I leave this job. So yes.
Play
Anyway,
play your cards right. You never know.
yes. If anyone does have a spare private jet going that they're willing to pay the maintenance of and the conversions of for my needs, i.e., nice wide seats, then email me at richard@automediagroup.co.nz.
I
Anyway,
can hear the phone already.
yes. Let's
Right.
get into the news because we're 2 minutes into probably 10 minutes worth of live stream.
Good time, not
So,
a long time.
yes, Auto Talk Live kicks off with a focus on dealer profitability. Yes, that's right. Our annual, well, I say annual because it's only annual in it's annual if for each city, but overall we do have two a year for now, maybe more in the future. Yeah, went off with a bang at the Tote at Ellerslie in Auckland, bigger venue than the last time. As you can see from there, lots of people, 160 plus people in the room. The majority were dealers. That's really important to us. With some of these events can end up being a bit of a talk fest for uh, the suppliers, which is great, but you want dealers and they're learning about how they can make more money or make better decisions within their business. Of course, we led the day with the fantastic Deloitte industry benchmarks, this time delivered by their director, Andrew Hillcoat. A whole pile of great speakers there that we've banged on enough about over the last little while. Now, the event was live streamed, so if you didn't make it, we will be launching soon the ability to throw us a few dollars into the tin and go and watch those sessions. We're just finalizing that at the moment, so we'll come back to you with that very soon. If you don't fancy sitting in front of a computer looking at those sessions, we are running a slightly more compact and tweaked event on October 15 in Christchurch at the Ridges Hotel. So again, we'll be launching ticket sales on that very soon. We are just finalizing the sponsors and their stuff that we work around before we go public with the full details of that event. But yeah, highly worthwhile. You couldn't make it this year, Graham. Can I convince you to come to Christchurch?
You might just do that, Richard. And I only couldn't make it because we were literally like a few other dealers. There was just me. I couldn't close the doors in the dealership. Somebody had to run the ranch. But I tell you what, I've heard a couple of feedback points about the day from people in the industry, and they've said just what a terrific series of sessions it was. It was just bang, bang, bang. Really good tools in the toolbox talking about where the industry is, what it could be doing, forcing you to take a bit of a deep dive analysis into your own business, presented in front of you in 15-minute grabs. And the feedback was really strongly positive. So if you're out there in the industry thinking, these are sort of things I should be attending, and I'm not being paid to say this, the other ones that I've been to have just been a terrific way of refocusing on the stuff that's really important. God only knows right now, we need to be focusing on that really important stuff. So well done, Richard. I believe it was a very, very well received event.
Now, in Christchurch, we're going to be trying a few little different things. We're going to bring a lot more panels into it, make it more of a discussion, not just people talking at you, but people talking with you. So, even if you do go to Auckland, I wouldn't rule out jumping on a wee plane, probably Jetstar, because Air New Zealand will bankrupt you at the moment, down to Christchurch and checking that out. And for those of you in Wellington, Palmerston North, the rest of the South Island, Dunedin. Christchurch is probably a really good one to go to. Often a bit cheaper, and a bit easier to get to than getting in and out of Auckland. Yeah, do consider that. And if you simply can't afford the time to go or the time to fly down, we will be doing a live stream from that one as well. And talk to your suppliers. If you're a Christchurch dealer, start nagging your finance company, your warranty company, your software company now saying, and you're going to AutoTalk Live, you got a spare seat at your table? Because there will be a few of those going around, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, let's move on to the next story. It's another convention one, and that is key sessions revealed for AADA 2025 Convention Expo. So I go to AADA every year. A lot of dealers do, particularly new ones. So I think some new ones should look at it as well, because there is some interesting stuff that goes on there. Of course, not as good as AutoTalk Live, a lot more expensive, but very good value. The 2025 AADA Convention Expo is shaping up to one of the most comprehensive dealer-focused events in the region, with this year's program zeroing in on the core issues facing franchise new car retailers, from EV disruption and cybersecurity to dealership operations and consumer behavior. So all the stuff at AADA tends to be a bit bigger picture than what we focus on at AutoTalk Live. It's very complementary. So this year it's in Sydney on from July 24 to 25, and it's got a sold-out expo with 69 exhibitors. Nice. And a speaker program designed to tackle operational strategic challenges. So let's run through. We've got kicking off with BDO. They will be talking about the dealership landscape, the top risks and opportunities. We have a cybersecurity panel that's pretty key. We saw some big cybersecurity hits over the last year. There'll be another panel about the rise of EV China. Now, we had a similar thing this year with, we had Mark Rainford down from Inside China Auto to talk about that. They have the North American Dealer Association Chairman Gary Gilchrist headlining the AADA Cox Automotive keynote session. That's going to be interesting, considering some of the cross-border stuff going on in America at the moment. And then a whole range of other sessions, including they, of course, do separate split-off sessions as well. So, Graham, well, I remember a discussion last year, Jeff Kennett speaking. Interesting, they have a lot of very EV-friendly stuff there, and then Jeff Kennett, I'm not sure he's a giant fan. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Well worth it. Go to aadaconvention.com.au to sign up. Do highly recommend that. Oh, we've got comments. But morning, it's race weekend, and yeah, he's got a Mark V Supra to drive. Who's got a Mark V Supra to drive, right? Not sure what's going on with that one.
Nice.
Oops, I've gone and oh, no, there we go. See, I'm rusty with the tech. On to non-event stuff. We have some movement in the listing market, potentially. Oh, I've been told to slow down. Okay, I'm slowing down, Graham. Slowing down.
Boy, somebody wants to go and get their cup of coffee, don't they?
I've had my cup of coffee. That's probably the right problem.
And you're not getting a plane out of New Zealand now either, based on your last couple of comments. So there, strike that for your 747.
Hey, look. I if anyone's seen my LinkedIn, I had a wee stab at Air New Zealand because, God, we're going to go into the weeds here. I had a very bad experience in Hong Kong with them a few weeks back, and the follow-up on it probably hasn't been wonderful either. And then I was booking some flights, and you know, look, I'm with this economy, I'm very much into what's cheapest, not just necessarily loyalty. Unfortunately, I think the lure of loyalty to spend more is waning at the moment. Remember that in your business, that people are at the moment potentially more about dollars and cents than simply loyalty. What was it? Air New Zealand. Sorry, I was booking some flights back 1 week out for a friend, well, for Mark Rainford, who was at our presentation, to back to China. So two flights adding a total of 14 hours in the air, 17 hours total. A Chinese airline would do that entire trip for $370. On that same day, the cheapest flight to Invercargill, we're booking a week out, was $440. Anyway, moving on.
No claim to you.
Yeah. Oh, Niraj Lala, if you're watching. Uh, Gumtree to make NZ appearance through NZME deal, potentially. So, Australian listed operator Gumtree is set to bring its Cars Guide brand to New Zealand in a partnership with local media company NZME. The publicly listed media company, which owns the NZ Herald, announced the signing of a memorandum of understanding with the Gumtree Group aimed at leveraging Gumtree's existing automotive brands, Gumtree Cars, Cars Guide, and Auto Trader, and its technology platform. It is unclear what brands will make it to New Zealand. NZME's Driven rebranded as the Driven Car Guide last year, while the Auto Trader brand is operating in New Zealand under the majority ownership of Optimus Group. NZME Chief Executive Michael Boggs highlights the significant potential in the automotive listing market, estimated to generate $125.3 million annually, currently dominated by Trade Me Motors. So, what's the breakdown here? What does this mean? NZME has tried repeatedly to start a listings business in New Zealand,
Mm-hmm.
or for that matter, rescue their current automotive advertising business, and they have struggled every time. They are basically going to work with Gumtree to bring their platform here, their learnings from running a listings operation in Australia, and yeah, see kind of what shakes out of the ground here. Now, I'm in a couple of minds. I must declare that we do have commercial arrangements with Trade Me, both through AutoTalk and New Zealand Auto Car. We supply the editorial at New Zealand Auto Car, so I need to caveat that before I say anything. NZME has tried repeatedly to get this off the ground. They haven't yet, so I'm not sure what this will change. But obviously, many dealers do see the need for increased competition within the New Zealand market. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what shakes out of it. I mean, do you find the appeal of another big player in the market good, Graham? And do you think they will actually get anywhere?
I don't know. I mean, look, as much as the trade talks about wanting to see stronger competition towards Trade Me, and there's a lot of, should I say, uncertain dealer sentiment about that right now. Every single time it seems that the alternate platforms that are coming through, and there's, the good ones we've got right now, we've got Auto Trader, we've got Only Cars, we've got Trade Me, obviously, but they just don't seem to make much impact in the ultimate goal, which is to bring heads to your business. And every dealer must measure that metric not by the listings, not by the ease of the platform, but by whether it generates sufficient business that they would not have got otherwise through the conventional platform they're with. And if you're looking right now at spreading your marketing budget a bit thinner, because yes, times are tough, you've got to consider very carefully whether it's better off thinning down what you already have with your current provider, which is probably Trade Me, to support another player, or whether you're just better off sticking with what you've got. And I haven't got an answer for that, but I just know it's a bit like cars, where at the moment seem to be sort of cutting the cake a little bit with thinner slices every single time. Are the slices that we're cutting big enough to make that second tier player generate the income it needs to be a long-term figurehead on the landscape? I don't know what the answer is, Richard.
Yeah. Just to give some context as to where the as far as listings go, these Australian ones operate in Australia. They are so Auto Trader is fourth and Gumtree is fifth. And then Cars Guide is very strong, but not really a primary listing destination. So that is interesting to see where they rank. But we'll see. It's certainly going to change the landscape, I think. The question for me at the moment is, with the amount of turmoil going on. Sorry, I'll slow down again. Turmoil going on at NZME and the way the market's going, whether this will actually get off the ground. It would be interesting to see if it does. What it'll mean for whether, the discussion that they will take new Australian editorial into that system. By and large, I hope that they don't, and that they continue to hold an editorial team in New Zealand, because particularly new car distributors have found in the past that Australian editorial just does not work in New Zealand. It's a nice idea for the publisher, but there's too many fish hooks regarding the use of that, the content that they're actually using. Be interesting to see. Now, tied into that, we have a separate issue, and that is that Trade Me has announced a price rise this year, but they say it offers, they're offering some discounts, and they say that it's actually not a bad value proposition. So Trade Me Motors is raising prices for dealers by 5% from July 1, 2025. The classified platform says added tools, new incentives, and upgrade discounts make the change worthwhile for many. The upcoming increase reflected in August invoices is Trade Me's smallest in a decade, they say. follows a more significant adjustment last year that sparked frustration among some dealers. This time, Trade Me is pairing the rise with new features across all package levels and a time-limited offer designed to ease the transition. Dealers on Ultimate and Premium packages now receive a full access to AutoGrab sourcing, real-time pricing, and My Listings modules. Those on Enhanced and Standard plans get access to My Listings, including the new listing performance rating. Across the board, dealer base and sites reporting has been improved. Jamie Fuller, Director of Sales, says, "We think this is actually a great news story, and we're receiving great feedback from dealers and the incentives about these and how AutoGrab is changing how they think about their business." And as part of the promotion, dealers can upgrade their package at 40% discount and defer the 5% increase until January 1, 2026. Some Ultimate package deals will also have their increase deferred to that same date. Now, obviously, this is not a great time for a price rise, Graham.
That's probably putting it mildly. No, it's not. I mean, irrespective of whether your business needs to or not, and let's not go into the reasons, the whys, and the wherefores, but at the moment, the industry is looking at every single possible corner to try and minimize costs and try and maximize the simple benefits out of whatever you're doing right now. And can I just politely say, I just don't believe it's a good time. At the end of the year, perhaps, maybe into 2026, when we'd like to see some degree of market recovery, then perhaps you could argue that's not a bad time to roll out some changes to your systems and your pricing network. But right now, when every last little piece of toothpaste inside the tube is being squeezed out, I would suggest it's the industry is not really listening.
I think for dealers that are using, AutoGrab as a reasonably popular tool, there's probably a win because that's potentially a cost coming off their system by being able to just take this directly as part of their Trade Me package. So yeah, I think it's there's hit and misses there depending on who you are and what you're doing with the tool.
Yeah, that's right.
And I will give them some credit that they have, as I say, this is their lowest price increase in a decade. It's still a price increase. But yeah, tricky one.
Boy, that's political speak there, Richard. It's the lowest tax rise in a year.
I've heard that from both New Zealand political parties. Let's face it,
Okay.
Right. Just a couple of other little ones here before we go. Archibald and Shorter named the top JLR dealer for second year running. Well done them. Simon Rutherford, who we both know, a friend of the show. He's watched before and popped up to comment on things.
Yep.
Has been appointed CEO of Armstrong's Distribution Group. Armstrong Auto Group has announced the appointment of Simon Rutherford as Chief Executive of Auto Distributors New Zealand, the import and distribution arm of the wider Armstrong Group. Rutherford is the former Managing Director of Ford New Zealand and brings extensive international and local experience to the new role. So yeah, a great name to pop up there. Chris Brown has departed. We are not sure at this point to where. I've spoken to him and he is at this stage taking a well-earned wife forced break. Yes, he is a good talent too. So I'm sure we will see Chris Brown pop up somewhere in the very near future. Nissan axed 20,000 jobs and closed 7 plants after a $7.6 billion loss. That is a big cut for a brand. I'm not sure which plants are closing. So yes, but we'll see. We get our car in the sense of New Zealand mix between Japan, Thailand, and the UK. So we will see which of those survive. So I imagine this announcement will be teamed with a very large contingent of Nissan execs scurrying out to each market to walk into the government's office and say, "How much do you really want to have a car plant here still?"
Well, I see mention, about the Sunderland plant, for example. At some point in time, someone has to do the maths and say, is it actually worth it? The biggest issue I see for Nissan, and it's been talked about here both in our team, but also from public we talk to, is there's that little creeping sense people are saying, is Nissan going to survive? So when it comes to choosing not so much the used vehicle, although parts and service and things too, but when you start hearing people talking about are they going to be around to make the parts of my car in the next 5 years? That's the sort of thing you don't want to have snowballing out there You do not want that rolling.
Nissan will 100% survive. The question is, what will Nissan be?
I know that, you know that, everyone watching the show knows that,
yeah.
But the public, the great unwashed out there, so to speak, people don't necessarily understand these things in that sense. They hear closure, and they think, will this survive? So Nissan had to really quickly get on message about the survival of the business and the transition of the business.
The interesting thing about the Nissan ending is that Renault, of course, was their partner, though there is large divorce now there between the two, instigated by the Japanese, who weren't that happy with the way Renault was doing things. Well, the flip side of that, and why it looks like that it makes certain managers at Nissan look a bit like turkeys at the moment, is that financially and from a vehicle perspective, Renault is just hitting home run after home run at the moment. Now, I know that's not global, but you've got to look at success where there is success. And so I wonder if whoever decided it was time we don't want to be told what to do anymore, and we don't want to necessarily be able to completely access that hardware anymore, needs to go and have a hard look at some of their decisions. Anyway, last story of the day. More dealership movements in central Auckland. The Armstrong Motor Group is further expanding its operation on the Green Lane Boulevard of Cars. Green Lane Boulevard of Cars. Yeah. Oh man, if only I could recreate DBK's velvety voice.
Yes, the sweet syrup of the car industry.
Yes,
as he was.
The Armstrong Group is further expanding its operation in Green Lane with an Armstrong certified used vehicle facility on a partial section of what was previously Auckland Vehicles forecourt. The other half of that site is becoming a Chinese supermarket. This well-known site on the Great South Road Green Lane has previously been known as Suzuki Utes Reno, and in a former life, it was also the first dealership for Lexus in central Auckland, next door to the former Team McMillan Toyota dealership. It's the second such shop. The Armstrong Group has also opened a certified used car facility on the former Easy Auto 123 site on Great North Road. We haven't officially started trading yet. We are incredibly close. Stock is on the ground and beans in the coffee machine. Well, that's pretty important. So yes, Andrew Hills GWM dealership has recently moved from its former presence in Panmure to a larger showroom on Broadway, Newmarket, opposite the mini garage in Auckland. Interestingly, that building, if you look at the photo, there's a bit of a peak up there. Up until recently, that was the home of a fairly prominent New Zealand automotive industry executive who's probably listening to this. I hear it's a great party pad. The site previously housed the brands which are currently retailed on other sites in Newmarket by Andersons, including Kia and BYD. And the Giltrap Group has remodeled the former home of Lexus of Auckland City on Great North Road to become the new showroom for its latest brand acquisition, Geely. Of course, we're going to see one more change in that Newmarket area, in that Giltrap. This is our understanding, is giving up the MG brand that is based, I believe, on the fact that maybe we clash with their distribution of Geely there, or Geely. And I understand that will be going to Wingers. You heard it here first. So quite the wee shuffle around the place. We also are hearing rumours of some wee shuffles around the industry exec ranks beyond the appointment of Simon at ADNZ. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. Done.
And so am I, Richard. I have to go. Would you believe on a Friday morning that we started recording our show and all the customers in Auckland and all the people came in at once?
Right. That's it for this week. I will try and do my best to be here next week, but I will be in China, and I will try to be here the week after I'm at home, but the week after that I'm in Iceland, of all places.
You could buy your own bloody 747 at this rate.
I haven't got any money. I'm screwed.
I'll be in Henderson.
We'll catch everyone later.